Hey everyone, it's Finian. So, welcome to my new adventure. Something I've been thinking about doing for a while, so finally getting down to do this for this first weekend. So, this is going to be a weekly chat preview about four Premier League games. So, I just picked four random Premier League games for this weekend, and I'm going to go discuss them, preview both teams' chances, and also give you a little score prediction as well. Now, as you all know, football is so hard to predict. So just because I say one thing doesn't mean it's going to happen, or it is going to happen. And then for those of you out there as well, if you want to throw a few quid on a game, I'm going to give you a little tip like that as well. These are just ideas that I would do if I was to go and put money on it. So I'll get straight into it. So I just went top four. So Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Aston Villa. I looked at their fixtures. And first game is obviously current league leaders Liverpool. So they play on Saturday, 3 o'clock against Burnley in Anfield. So it's a home game for Liverpool. So I've been looking at the form really of both teams. Liverpool have won one and lost four of their last five. Obviously, the most recent defeat coming against Arsenal. Probably an uncharacteristic loss for Liverpool. A couple of mistakes, but Arsenal were very very good on the day. And in terms of Burnley, they've lost three and drawn two, picking up points against Fulham and Luton in two score draws. So as you can see, they're well able to score. Um, so are Liverpool as well. They're the league's second highest goal scorers, 2 goals behind Man City. So you could definitely see them adding to this tally on the weekend. Free flowing, and the way Liverpool have been playing, and especially with Jurgen Klopp's scenario, you imagine that this is a game they want to go out and win by a couple of goals. So then, like, if you look at the history of these two teams, they've played each other 17 times in the Premier League, and now Burnley have only come out with 2 wins. So that as well is another factor. It'll be hard to see them win. And then Liverpool also won the reverse fixture in Turf Moor 2-0. Looking at kind of at the teams and if there be any expected changes, Liverpool will have one forced change. Ibrahim Konate got sent off against Arsenal, so he'll be serving his ban. Um, yeah, there's one or two injury concerns as well. The likes of Szoboszlai and Thiago Alcantara, both injured. But Endo has come back from the Asian Cup after the Japanese national team got eliminated from the Asian Cup. So he'll be good to have. He definitely goes straight into the squad and potentially straight into the starting 11. And in terms of Burnley, you have to say I'd expect on loan Chelsea striker David Datro Fofana to start. He came on as a sub against Fulham and scored 2 goals. So Burnley are obviously in need of someone who can score goals. So he definitely be one that I imagine will go straight in there. Vincent Kompany as well has his own injury issues. The likes of Nathan Redmond and Luca Kolyosho are all out with uh, long-term injuries, as well as a couple of doubts as well. Liverpool are still unbeaten at Anfield this season, so it's hard to see that changing. Um, I'd expect Burnley to play quite quite defensive, sit back, and then try and go on the counter attack. So my prediction for this game would be a 3-0 win to Liverpool. Um, can't really see Burnley scoring, and if I was to throw a tenner on the game, it will probably be for Luis Diaz to score anytime. So Luis Diaz anytime score. That's at 15-8. Not a bad show. Right, game two is the league champions from last year, Manchester City, playing Everton at the Etihad Stadium. 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday, so this is the first game of the weekend to get everyone settled into loads of Premier League football. So City are on a 5-game winning streak in the Premier League, so that in itself just kind of shows the level that they're at, the standard that they're at. So hard to look past. City for this one. They do, however, have a Champions League game away in Copenhagen 3 days later, so Pep could have that in mind, but he also might want to think, right, I have a chance of going top of the Premier League table here, which they do. They can go ahead for a couple hours at least until Liverpool play their game. Um, in comparison, Everton, who are their opponents on the weekend, their next game isn't for 9 days. So you'd imagine with this squad that Sean Dyche has, he'll try and pick as strongest 11 as possible. Um, Everton currently have 3 draws in a row in the last 3 Premier League games against Tottenham, Fulham, and Villa, which isn't bad. Bad return for them. Tottenham obviously up in the top half of the table. Villa too, also fourth. So not a bad omen for Sean Dyche, but be hard, really hard for Everton. Another thing as well with Everton is Sean Dyche is serving a 1 match ban for picking up 3 yellow cards, so he's going to be suspended. And I always think as well when a coach is sidelined or he's not able to be there, that yeah, like the assistant coaches do a great job because they're there on the training ground every week. But I just think there's something about not having that voice there to talk. So it could be hard. Then like looking at the team news as well. Calvert Lewin, might he play, might he not play? I tell you, he's long due a goal. His last goal in the Premier League came against Brentford in September of 2023. So he would absolutely love to score. Will he start? Not too sure. Beto's done quite well since he's been in there, but maybe if Calvert Lewin does start and he's in the starting team, then he could have a chance of scoring. And in terms of City, like I was saying, they might make 1 or 2 changes with their Champions League game coming up midweek, but it's hard to see too many changes being made, especially after the win against Brentford. Foden nearly looks like a shoe-in to play after he scored a hat-trick. Haaland's getting more minutes in the tank after his long injury layoff. Same with De Bruyne. John Stones is now come back into contention. Might he get maybe more of a run out to get him ready for a hybrid role against Copenhagen? So could be changes, but then again, there could also not be changes. And like I would expect if City start scoring goals, that maybe in the second half Pep will start making changes. Everton obviously do need to start picking up points, but I think this is a game that they just need to write off. Um, Playing against the current um, league champions, a hard place to go. Not many people pick up points in the Etihad Stadium. I think Everton are probably looking elsewhere for their 3 points to boost them up the table. So similar to game one, gonna go with a 3-0 win to Man City. Hard to really look past that. I do think as well if they do get their 3 goal cushion, there'll be a load of changes, rest players for midweek, and then I think the game might die out because once Man City hit 2 or 3 or even 4, it's just cruise control. So that's what I would think. And then if I was to gonna go and put a little bet on it, it'd be a tenner on a correct scoreline. So 3-0 correct scoreline at 15-2. So that'd be my little prediction for that. Now, the game three. Game three is third place Arsenal and travelling across London to play West Ham in the London Stadium. This is a Sunday game. So West Ham are on a bit of a mixed run of form. They've won one, lost one, drawn 3 of the last 5 Premier League games. Now, in fairness, though, they have scored 5 goals in the last 5 Premier League games, so they're averaging a goal a game. So you would expect them to score or at least threaten the Arsenal goal a couple of times. Arsenal are on a 3 game winning streak with wins against Liverpool, Forest, and Palace. So they're coming into this game on the back of really good form, especially a super win against Liverpool. West Ham, though, did win the reverse fixture 2-0 in the Emirates Stadium. So it's going to make an interesting watch on Sunday. Can they do the double over Mikel Arteta's men, or will Arsenal bounce back? And actually, since that game, when Arsenal drew a blank against West Ham and couldn't score, they've gone on to score 11 goals in 4 Premier League games. So not only are they on a brilliant run of form, but their players are scoring lots and lots of goals. And 5 of these goals came against the win against Crystal Palace in a 5-0 win. So hard to see really past Arsenal. Arsenal do have a chance as well to sit on top um, at the end of the Premier League weekend, but like they need the likes of City and Liverpool to drop points, which I'll find hard to believe if they will do, bearing in mind the fixtures that they have. So I'd expect Arsenal to be sitting third come the end of the weekend. West Ham, on the other hand, can climb up to sixth above Manchester United if they get the 3 points. But then, similar to Arsenal, they'd be relying on other results. They'd need Aston Villa to beat Man United as well. So West Ham can leapfrog them. In terms of team news, Tomiyasu is back from the Asian Cup. He's also a representative from Japan who unfortunately were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Iran. So he'll be a boost to Mikel Arteta. Might get a few minutes off the bench. Um, West Ham are without some big players. Antonio and Paqueta are sidelined for a while. And the goalkeeper as well, Alfonso Areola, went off at half time against Manchester United last Sunday. Sorry, so it'll be hard to see West Ham picking up points with key players injured. West Ham, of course, will rely on James Ward-Prowse, free kick specialist. Absolutely brilliant when it comes to the dead ball. Brilliant deliveries as well from corners. So of course that would be their hope. Um, like I was saying, hard to look past Arsenal, especially on form. Free scoring Gunners, my opinion, should take all 3 points. Um, Score prediction for this one, I'm going to go a 3-1 win to Arsenal. West Ham have been able to score, so I'm giving them a chance. Of course, if you want to go with your bet of a Arsenal win and both teams to score, fire away. But my one is Odegaard to score at 14-5. He's due a goal, so I think it could come against West Ham. And finally, the last one, Aston Villa against Manchester United. Big game this, fourth against sixth. So Villa obviously come into this game on the back of a bad result midweek in the FA Cup, but in terms of their Premier League form, they've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1 at their last 5 Premier League games. So picking up a amount of 7 points out of possible 15. United obviously come into this game fresh in a 3-0 win over West Ham. They've 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So on form, looks like United have the better form. But then again, Arsenal and Man City have both suffered defeat at Villa Park this season. So it's not the same Villa that played both Arsenal and Man City, but Villa will be hoping for the same again, that they can do one over on Manchester United. In the reverse fixture of this game, Manchester United came from 2-0 down, scoring 3 goals in the space of 23 minutes. So yeah, Villa obviously were 2 goals in front. They can obviously score against Man United, so I have confidence. But then the fact that United turned the game totally around from a losing position to a winning position, goes to show you their mental strength and their mental capacity is getting stronger. If Villa do lose, they could find themselves outside of the top 4. So that's going to be a little little thing in the back of their mind, thinking, do we want to still be in the top 4? Do we want to drop out? Because obviously, of course, they want to play European football, so that's going to be their goal. And United, on the other hand, they have a chance to close the gap on the top 4 to 3 points. But they also would need a favour from Brighton, who travel to Tottenham. If Brighton beat Tottenham, United would only be 3 points behind Tottenham, who are in 4th place. Sorry. In terms of team news and selection, Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper, and Ollie Watkins are 1 yellow card away from picking up a suspension. So, Emery's obviously going to be hopeful that the 2 of those star players, you might add, won't get into any trouble, because if they do pick up yellow card number 5 of the season, they're going to have to serve a 1-match ban. Ten Hag as well has a similar problem. Diogo Dallo, Alejandro Garnacho, and Andrea Onana have all picked up 4 cautions this season. So similar to Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez, they're both one yellow card away from a suspension. Lisandro Martinez, who's just back from injury, he will miss this game as well, having re-injured himself. So not a good sign for Manchester United. So expect the likes of Varane or Lindelof to just slot straight into the team, and I wouldn't expect too many other changes across the rest of the team. Like with Villa being free scoring in the last Premier League match against Sheffield United, they scored 5, and all of their front 4 players got on the score sheet. So obviously good confidence boost for them. Obviously midweek wasn't the best result, but I think it was just a little blooper, and they should be back to themselves again. Villa Park is a hard place to go, like I said. Big teams have dropped points there. So it is a tough one to call. This one probably is the toughest one of them all. Um, United's away form has been pretty poor, to be honest. Yeah, like I know they got a last minute winner against Wolves, but they've either drawn or lost their last 3 away games, which isn't a great omen for them. And against lower opposition, Villa obviously do have the motivation of that. If they win, they stay in the top 4. If they lose, they're out of the top 4. So this is a very, very close one, and I've just gone Villa, just on United's form and the fact that I imagine Villa are going to bounce back. So I've gone 2-1 to Villa. Um, and my little bet for this game is Villa for the match result and both teams to score at 13-5. That was what I would do if I had €10 to go and throw in the bets. So there we have it. There's my four game Premier League preview. My Finian's Premier League preview, FPP, for those of you, if you remember, I said at the very start. So if you enjoyed that, let me know. Send me a thumbs up, give me a comment, like, share, whatever you want to do. Really, really appreciate any feedback that you can give me, because I just want to grow and develop this and become a better presenter, make it more engaging for you, and all that kind of stuff as well. So another thing as well that I want you to do is bear in mind some of these games are on Sunday, so wait until Sunday, Monday, have a look at the scores, have a look at the bets, see how they did, and also please let me know in the comments below how I did. I of course will be checking them myself, see if I was wrong, if I was right, if I was right on any of them. So I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And yeah, let's keep going with this FPP, Finian's Premier League preview. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.